What do you think of this? Mainstream media somehow wants to get in on the action. The mainstream media, one Fox News, kicked Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Bill O'Reilly to the curb. Me as well, by the way, but I'm not part of their group. You see, there's a company called Red Seat Ventures, and Red Seat sells advertising on podcasts. And, you know, like I just did an ad, you got to have ads, right? That helps support the show. I'm able to bring you the content for free because we have advertisers. And so they sell the ads that go into these various podcasts. And they just announced a big deal. A very big deal, in fact. Fox is buying Red Seat Ventures, the company that sells all the ads for the Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Bill O'Reilly, Piers Morgan as well. Wasn't he with an entity of Fox, like a Murdoch company? And then he made a big deal. Wasn't he with Sky, right? And then he went on his own. He's coming back home. They're all coming back home. What do you know? So Fox is going to sell the advertising of these people that they discarded. There's kind of an irony to that, don't you think? Now, I think they tell you, hey, we own our shows. It's different than last time around. And sure, you know, of course it's different. You do own your show. I own my show. I have somebody that sells the ads, a media company that sells the ads. And you know what? If I don't like what the advertiser is, or, you know, I've turned plenty of ads, believe me, I can be a bit of a headache. Because if I don't like the ad, if I don't like the company, it's not going to appear on the show. But they never say to me, hey, you know, we want you to cover this or that, or maybe you could have this kind of viewpoint on something. That does not happen. Nor would I ever allow that to happen, because you know what? I've been there, done that. That's like the kind of games that they play at network TV. So these guys, to their credit, have gone out on their own and built real businesses, successful businesses. And now Fox is realizing, gosh darn it, you know, we left a lot of money on the table. And what if we were to say, I don't know, sell Jesse Waters alongside Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? You know, maybe that would be a good way to synergize. And so while Megyn and Tucker still own their shows, you know, somebody else is controlling the purse strings. I hope that whatever contracts they have with Red Seat Ventures enable them to get out. I'm a big believer in the 90-day out. You know, and if you don't sell my ads the way I want you to sell my ads, or if I don't like the ads, or if you are trying to impose some kind of editorial agenda on me, then I walk, right? And as an independent, you have the ability to do that. But how is this entirely different? The difference is, I guess, they do own their content. Like I own the Trish Regan show. Of course, I always owned the Trish Regan brand. Trish Regan is me. When I was on Fox, Fox paid me a salary. And I went on and did the Trish Regan show on Fox. But hey, the difference, I don't have the library. They'll make money, you know, for however long on old Trish Regan videos. But I did own my brand. And while I was under contract, I did, you know, eventually have the ability to go out and do my own thing, which is what we're doing right here. Reminder to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. Make a comment. All of it helps. So how is it really different? After all, if Fox doesn't like the narrative they're spewing, if they don't like, if Tucker goes near J6, now that may not happen right now because we're in a whole different world, and this whole new world has allowed for conservative opinion to thrive. But if Fox is like, we really don't like that, it's at odds with who we are as a business, et cetera, then you have to ask, are they going to perhaps reduce some of the ads? And if they're controlling the money, how much are they controlling the product? I'm not saying that's the case, and I think that these people are smart enough to know that if that were to happen, they could make an exit to stage left pretty quickly. But there's an irony here. There's an irony given that these are the talents that Fox felt it couldn't monetize anymore. I don't know in Megyn's case whether they were going to keep her or whether she just had a better offer at NBC, but certainly Tucker got a kick in the stomach. Bill O'Reilly went out in flames. And now they're all coming back. What do you know? They're all coming back. And so it's an interesting sort of twist of fate. What I would say is it proves what I've said all along. You know what? The mainstream media wants in. The mainstream media knows that we got it going on over here in the digital space and that this is the future. And they don't have that. I mean, they have Fox Nation, but Fox Nation isn't really doing that well. I mean, if you look at the subscription numbers, I don't think they're anything to write home about. So they're looking over there at Tucker and Megyn and Piers and Bill O'Reilly. Oh my gosh, like those guys, they've figured it out. So they now want a piece of the action. Of course they do. I mean, I'd be a little reticent to get back in bed, frankly, if it were me with them. And I know you guys are going to say you're independent, but they are now going to be controlling your ad revenue. So I'd get the 90-day out. I really would. I'd get the 90-day out and make sure you have the ability to go wherever you want and make sure whoever can sell your show the best does. Because Fox is just in it to continue profiting off of you. I mean, they're capitalists. We're all capitalists here. It's a business. Fox has not been able to figure this business out. So now they're going to these independents. And the concern, I think, dare I say, is that you run the risk that independents may not be so independent at some point. In other words, if you're working for the man, right? If you're working for the big corporation, at what point do they start to infuse their agenda and viewpoint into your programming so as they are able to sell more ads? And the beauty of what independent media really is that we have this Chinese wall, so to speak, between us and, say, that kind of editorial control. And that's what people respond to. And this is why, Joe Rogan has been so successful. This is why Tucker and Megyn and all of them, Piers Morgan, who just went out on his own, they've all been successful. This is why I look at this channel. Wow, I mean, we haven't done any marketing. I'm working on a website, I promise. We haven't done anything. And you guys are here every single day. We've got 575,000, I think, and still counting subs just because I show up with a camera and I talk to you like a real person, because we don't have the teleprompters and we don't have the graphics and the whiz bang and all that stuff. One of my friends who does a podcast, actually Dave Rubin, you may know him, he once said to me, when I was starting out, don't worry about that stuff. The viewers actually don't want all the video and the whiz bang and the noisy graphics. That's very much a cable news thing. And they use those tricks to distract from the actual content itself, in part because sometimes they just don't have the personalities, right, on the air to be able to deliver the content in a meaningful enough way. So they get a whole bunch of whiz bang to distract you with. And that in some ways feels very old fashioned. Well, we don't have that here. Like I said, it's very raw. It's just you and me. And I think it's a special kind of relationship. I've gotten to know you all, for goodness sakes, like Leslie, who's been here from the beginning, and occasionally we run into, I'm laughing at Alphonse, who also I've gotten to know because he's been here so much. Alphonse is like, yep, no chyrons, Trish, no lower thirds. Usually in cable, you always know what the story is that they're talking about because you see the chyron flash on the screen. We don't do that here. I mean, I did it in the beginning. I've tried it out, and it's like, I don't really need it because you guys are actually here regardless of the whiz bang. And I think there's something extraordinary and special and really unique about that. So I don't know, we'll see. You'll have to keep an eye on those guys and see if their content changes in any way, shape, or form. I can tell you this, Regan Gagnon, thank you so much for your generosity. It is so appreciated, really and truly. You guys are just wonderful. I think that this is a very unique and very new medium, and I'm very protective of it because authenticity is really all I have. My brand is me, and no one can take that away. Corporate media, in their case, may try, and they're going to have to stand up and be strong. Very, very interesting stuff. 76 Research, that's my company that I started. I want to just give a plug again for that. Use code word dollar, 76research.com. You can get a lot of market research there, which is the 76 report. But for those of you that are really interested in investing, I cannot stress this enough. Go check out the model portfolios, 10 to 15 stocks in each and every single one of them.